welcome back. And in this segment, we want to teach you how to make corn mush at home from scratch using raw white corn. Or if you have other varieties of corn, we happen to have blue corn, we have some Mohawk red corn. We want to teach you what the steps are that you're comfortable enough to roast corn at home and make your own mush, because it is really that simple. So what I have here, I just wanted to show you, I have a few cups of raw corn on a baking sheet. And then what we want to do for the temperature of your stove, for your oven, and again, this is going to be different for everybody's oven. We usually go about 350, around 375, so preheat that oven, and then stick your baking sheet in with your corn. So this has been roasting for roughly about 30 minutes, and it has a beautiful color. Like, this is actually perfect. This is the caramel color that I really like, and it's going to be a preference. So you can roast it a little darker or a little lighter, or you know what? You don't have to roast it at all. You can grind up just raw corn and then start your flour and then start your water to make your mush. So after we get done with this grind, or with the roast, we're going to grind it. I was getting caught up ahead of myself. So you will have probably a blender that you're used to at home. This is our little Ninja one. Well, it's not little, but this is our Ninja one that we have here. And really any sort of very inexpensive blender works just fine. We have also something that a lot of you might have if you grind up your own spices. So what you'll do then is you'll just add your corn either into your blender. Here, you're going to turn it on, and I'm just going to turn it on just really quick so you get the gist of it. And I find actually using this here, it really allows me to do even a finer grind. But as I mentioned, any blender will do. So I'm going to take what I just was able to grind up here. And what I have on the stove, and how I like to get it started, is I'll start my water. And I do about a cup at a time, because my intention isn't to make a lot. It's just to make a good serving for myself. And then I'm going to sweeten it. My, again, preference is maple syrup, but you can use honey. You can use any sweetener that you would like. So I always add it to the water first. I'm going to mix it all up. And then I usually do a little taste test. This is when I know I'm going to need more sugar, is I actually taste the water and see how sweet it is. And this is when I'll add any more if I need to. And so once you have your good consistency of your sweetness to your water, this is when you're going to start your flour. But first, you're going to make sure that your water is getting really nice and hot. If you didn't have it heated, then the grains of the corn would just soak on the bottom. So get your water going. And now I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And I'm going to slowly add my flour to it. Get this out of the way. And you're going to whisk as you're adding your flour so that it prevents it from clumping up. So the whisk is incredibly helpful and handy. And you're going to be able to tell pretty much right away of your consistency if you have a good ratio from water to flour. So just by this, it feels still a little soft, so I'm going to add just a little bit of flour to it. So I'm going to take what I blended in the blender and slowly add it to it. And the intention is to get it a little bit thicker. Now you can make it as thick as you want to, and you can thin it out if you'd like. I like to just get it about right in the middle. Not too thick, not too thin. And we also have stories about the mush coming up and burning your hands. So we'll share that too. So if you're a mush maker, I am sure of it that you've got one of those burn scars. So to prevent it from popping up on you, I'm gonna turn it down. And I could even turn this off right now, but because my kernels and my flour is a little bit more coarse, I'm gonna actually keep it on, but very low. And I'm gonna try to keep stirring it to kind of cool it off a little bit so that it gets to the temperature of the flame so that it will stop popping up on me. And then you also really want to stir it to make sure that it doesn't burn. Now if you had it nice and hot and going, this is where you can turn it off and then cover it. So if you're multitasking, you got other things to do, as I mentioned, go ahead and turn it off, cover it, and you'll be good. Oh, it smells amazing. This is also the time where you might want to add berries to it. I like to use blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries, because I feel that these berries in particular, they heat really well. Some will keep their shape. Obviously the raspberries won't. And in my opinion, some berries, when they're heated, will taste a little bad. So you can actually see though, I could easily grind my corn a little bit finer. So when I have it nice and mixed, I'm gonna put it into a coffee mug. And that's because if it is nice and hot, I don't have to touch the bottom of it. I can grab it. Ooh, yum. Now this is the time if you're like, oh, now that I put the berries in it, I cooked it a little bit longer, it's not as sweet. This is where you can then drizzle and add more of your sweetener. And this is where then you can also top it off, add your berries. You could add nuts to it. You can almost kind of think about like a smoothie bowl, right? And then they have how they top off with so many different varieties of ingredients. Have fun with it. It's very much the same. So this is where I will incorporate strawberries. I do not like heated strawberries, but I do like them fresh, cold, and on top of my hot mush. I don't know, I don't make sense sometimes, but again, that's a preference of mine. Yum. And that's it. That's how easy it is to make mush. I mean, we did it just right here within probably 10 minutes. The other thing is if you're like, you know what, not really into roasting my own, but I really love mush and I want to make it at home, we do also sell the mush flour, and you can find those at 54 One Stop in Larson and Packerland, and you can give us a call if you need a special order. All right, now it's time for me to enjoy. Thanks for watching. Yowegu.